Xiaohu's Azir stricken away once again, and Victor confirmed taken away from Doinby. So again, Xiaohu 100% win rate on blue side. Seems like they're sticking with the exact same ban phase so far. They've got Thresh and Azir.
Take the Thresh away from Lei. He has played Thresh the most. He's got an 80% kill participation, so get him away from all of the hook-style champions that you possibly can. Make sure that's off the board. The Azir and the Victor, both target bans for their respective mid laners. Victor, ridiculously good champion. Same with Azir. They scale so well, and they can blow up a single target.
Yeah, so Xiaohu are getting to that last ban once again. Previously, they banned Ryze, though the more standard maneuver from blue side is to let the opposing team ban Ryze, and all they do, they decide to commit to the exact same bans. Now, if RNG want to do the same thing, they have to take away Sivir.
Now, this leaves the Fizz and the Sivir both available. Of course, the Alistar also, while we're naming off champions that should probably be banned, we're too busy focusing on target bans right now, and of course, every reason to do so in this particular draft. The Victor, the Azir, the Kalista has to be banned. And actually, by banning this Ryze, leaves them open for a lot of possibilities here. RNG could opt to ban another target pick and just have all of the options available for them as well. Just force Xiaohu to pick one of the strong champions and then just pick two.
That's interesting, and that seems like that's exactly what's happening. Doinby's Morgana taken away. Looks like they want to pull MLXG's Echo off of the map, and that's exactly what they do.
So they pick up the Echo, and of course this does leave open the Fizz and the Alistar as two potential options right now. Would not be surprised to see that picked up in the rotation, as we've also got the junglers available, and getting the Hecarim away from V is a pretty good idea too.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid thing. Now Let Me is going to be taking that Hecarim in the top lane, and just to note, RNG did not swap. It's not Sky, it's not Godlike, but Let Me, in fact, playing 2 games in a row. So seems like RNG might finally be committing to one top laner. But again, Let Me on that incredible Alistar. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah, don't write it off too soon. And we're looking at the Janna and the Nahhovers. I actually like the Sivir hover a little bit better there. They've got the Kalista already banned. Sivir the go-to option, but TNT quite diverse in his champion pool. So having the Echo locked in does leave open a lot of possibilities for them, and turns out I may have actually told them what to do.
Yeah, you did exactly that. TNT and TCT are going to be taking that Janna Sivir, which is going to put Wuxin on something a little bit different this time around. Let's see what Xiaohu decides to take up in the mid lane this time, as he did have an excellent Jace game in the previous match. We've seen Wuxin take Varus too.
It's interesting that they've picked the Janna with Sivir. Not necessarily coined as the best duo lane in particular either, but Janna quite good against Alistar, which is locked in for the record. It's not just really light because they're locking 3 champions in one rotation, but it's a very good pick into the Alistar, the Janna, and the Sivir is going to essentially be able to play her best Master Yi impersonation and be able to melee range with Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, and again, it looks like we do have a little bit of visual bug on the lobby, but that is Varus locked into the bottom lane for Wuxin. And MLXG is going to be going for that Rek'Sai in the jungle. So once again, RNG could be saving their last pick for Xiaohu. That could be Varus in the mid lane. They could be saving it for Wuxin. Potentially flex it after they see what Xiaohu decide to go for. But yeah, that's Rek'Sai and Varus.
This is an interesting idea of Xiaohu to lock this in. We won't touch on it too much until they do, but most likely going, yeah, that's a little bit more their style.
Yeah. Swapping it over to the Maokai for V, and TCT going to be getting Lulu for Doinby.
Yeah, so they get Maokai onto V. It's going to be very strong. They have that soaking mid top laner now for just raw, tanky damage. Lulu and Janna to work with both the Echo and the Sivir, even the Maokai to an extent. They're an exceptionally tanky team that don't have very many tanky stats. They just have the raw abilities to be able to put them all in the front line and support them through very strong. And we'll see what RNG want to do in response to this. Whether the Varus is the mid laner or the AD carry is a very good question. They've got that early pressure jungler down of the Rek'Sai. They've got the Hecarim to scale them through and have that teamfight presence. And the Alistar, as they do lock it in.
Yeah, that's going to be Orianna locked in for Xiaohu. He's going up against Doinby's Lulu, and those are our final team comps.
Yeah, we're looking at the Varus Alistar bot lane up against the Sivir and the Janna. A very good pick. Disengage / engage style comp here from RNG. They're very good at doing whatever they choose to do. If they want to fight, they've got that go button. They've got the chains, the Alistar. But if they want to run away, they've got the Orianna, the Chains, the Alistar. Like, it works so well in both directions.
Yeah, and here's running through the rosters. It's V still in the top lane against Let Me. He decides he's going to be able to deal a little bit better on that Hecarim into V's Maokai. In the jungle, once again, we're going to have MLXG and Swift
playing that Echo and that Rek'Sai, of course, as well. Echo swapping teams this time, and the Rek'Sai not going to be the Graga, so a little bit of a change-up, but still quite standard.
Yeah, in the mid lane, it's Doinby and Xiaohu, Lulu and Orianna as they decide to go for that. And in the bottom, once again, TNT with the amazing hair. He's taking Sivir this time. He didn't want to let that go into the hands of RNG, and there are our supports.
Yeah, TCT and Layam with the Janna up against the Alistar, arguably favoring the Janna in terms of the laning phase, but Alistar always going to be that big tanky frontline threat that can just help with your team when you're trying to dive some turrets and take some objectives, and we'll see how that does translate into a very strong mid-game spike here from the RNG lineup.
We'll certainly have to if they can go for the exact same sort of style of play in game number 1 once again, because they do have some pretty scary spikes.
They do. They've got the Varus in particular as well. Works so well around the spike. So Alistar, once he hits level 11 also, the inability to die becomes a very big spike for an Alistar, among many other things.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that works out as we load into the Rift for game number 2 right now. And we are on the Rift. It's Xiaogu versus RNG, and this is game number 2 of this day of the LPL. Day 2, week 5.
That would be correct. And we're currently looking at the most adorable Varus skin to ever grace the Rift. Speaking of adorable skins,
it's week 6.
If they're trying that, yeah, it is week 6, actually. Thank you for correcting yourself and me. Now I just feel wrong. I lost my point.
You were
Varus
talking about
has
Varus'
a cool skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
And then you started talking about Sivir a little bit.
Not as cool, but still a very good skin. I prefer the boomerang one. Is the main point, but I lost it.
I mean, all of her skins are boomerang.
Yeah, the actual boomerang one though, like the Australian style.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. That one's a cool skin too.
So we're looking at a very standard start here, a 5-point essentially, almost like a 4-point with a ward to make it a 5th point here from Xiaogu. Looking to just control certain areas, most likely a Krug start from the bot lane of Xiaogu as well, as we're looking at RNG doing the Gromp with Let Me.
Yep, they are going to be looking to head down into that bottom lane.
Double jungle.
Yeah, Xiaogu seem to be prepared to match it as Swift is starting on the bottom side of the map. Parallel convergence start, that's a little bit interesting.
Increases the passive damage, I believe, also. You have the Janna to boot for the extra leash amount. You're going to be able to do quite comfortably get that level 2 and have 2 spells in your rotation already. I would have been actually really excited to see the Let Me leash that had come through there from the bot lane of RNG translate into an invade and try and spot Swift, but unfortunately he's going to go to his wolves and just farm the jungle.
Yeah, you can see TNT now getting some harass with that great shield from Janna. TCT is just trying to be a bully, and Wuxin doing a good job of trading right back with him. Now, we didn't actually get a chance to talk about this a little bit, but what are these team comps going to be looking to do? I mean, you've got Poke, you've got the Orianna Shockwave that works exceptionally well with the Hecarim. It seems like RNG might be taking a little bit more of a team fight comp this time.
They are a little bit more into team fights. They're not looking to be the mid-game spike that they were in that last game. The team fight's actual orientation is not as distinct as it was in the last game, but they still have very strong team fighting. And speaking of, they're getting dumped a little bit.
Yeah, Wuxin's taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane. TNT being an absolute bully. And Xiaogu, seems like they might be the ones who hit a bit more of a power spike in the mid-game.
Yeah, the strength of the Sivir and the Janna always going to be evident in this lane. As you can see, working around the tornado to actually put down free damage as well. Very cute play here, but I think I can see a response in the background.
Yeah, there's the knock-up to find TNT. MLXG comes over the wall. Flash, knock-up finds TNT. He's taking some damage here. Doesn't have the flash. He's so low. Is he going to be able to make it out in time? The heal comes out, and first blood from Wuxin.
Heal for the move speed from the Varus right there to secure the first blood. They get the kill in a very, very smart flash knockup from MLXG. Not able to react with the spell shield there was TNT. He goes down with the heal used. And now that's going to reset the wave under the turret. A very good start here from RNG.
And with that, all of the harass that we saw TNT putting down is going to be for naught, as instead he's going to be the one who loses all of his health at the end of the trade. And this wave is even being bounced out as well, so TNT's in a bit of a tricky situation right now.
Yeah, completely resetting the wave. They're going to be able to opt into staying in the lane now if they'd like, or recall, maybe go for the pickaxe with that bonus gold from the first kill and start to stamp their foot down. Maybe even a tier because it's a Varus. Who knows what he's actually... There it is the pickaxe. So
yeah,
picking that one up there.
Very interesting how he is going for that. MLXG giving the first blue over to Qiao, as MLXG did start with his red buff. Very interesting.
Is quite clever, really. He doesn't need the blue buff. He is only a Rek'Sai. He had a very good jungle start, and getting that first blood, that bonus experience though as well that's going to come out of that. They can afford to give that blue buff to Qiao, give him some wave clear to match that of Doinby on the Lulu, maybe even push him under the turret and get control of the wave. If he can get control of mid lane, it allows MLXG to control everywhere else on the map, be more aggressive in his positioning, his ward placements, and start to work around where Swift is.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. So far, it looks like the CS advantage is going to be in favor of Doinby, as Qiao has missed out on a couple of CS, while Letme continues to farm it up in the top wave, as V continues to shove him under the turret. And a bit of a CS discrepancy opening for poor Letme, as he actually is forced to burn his smite to catch that minion wave. There is a roam coming out to try finding Qiao. They could try to juggle this blue buff back onto Doinby, but they don't find it.
He has been zoned by the tornado. My job is done here. I'm going back bottom, but I'm about to face check an Alistar.
Yeah, not the best of situations. Lamy takes some damage. He's still only level 3 because he was roaming around the map. But he should be getting level 4 fairly soon. Swift is committed to making this dive happen. But take a look at Qiao. He's got Flash. He's even got Cleanse. He should be just fine.
He should be fine, but if they can force the Flash, it's still a win in favor of GG. Being able to do so, that's just raw damage output being matched here. You cannot beat that. Doinby being super aggressive in this lane.
Well, he's being super bully, trying to bait it out. There goes the Glitter Lance. Swift is still waiting. And with the quick level advantage, looks like Doinby is going to get the better of this trade and continue bullying Qiao. Here comes MLXG. Now the junglers know each other is there. Swift dashes forward and just shoves it under the turret.
Yeah, looking to let Doinby recall. You can see the aggressive trades looking to force the response here from Qiao. Most mid laners, once they get that blue buff, they feel invincible, like they can trade with anyone. But Doinby bringing the fear of Lulu into his heart, actually forcing not a trade in a positive direction, but being cleansed against Ignite is a big factor in that first and foremost. They realized Doinby, you can't continue the trade, you don't have the blue buff, so just recall, push the wave out and reset.
Yeah, and take a look at how they're building. Doinby continues to go straight for that Morel and Omicron, but Qiao, he's going full defensive with the Chalice picked up.
Yeah, the aggression and the base damage essentially that's coming out of Doinby, looking to get through that, get the things ramped up and start having some real threat with that second item buy, most likely either the Luden's Echo or the Death Cap, depending on how he's looking to scale. At this stage though, all of the laners of Xiaogu besides that bot lane are ahead, just from raw laning.
Yeah, well, that's Xiaogu being very good at what they do.
Are you implying that RNG are not though?
Well, it is the second place team versus the 9th place team. So there were a few expectations coming into this. There's going to be a knock-up onto TNT. Lamy doesn't quite find enough. Wushin with that pickaxe, trying to trade back, but TNT regenerates all of that health, no problem.
A very diplomatic answer, of course, but in saying that, I've noted from this last game and now this one that MLXG is the entirety of this RNG's early game and translating that into the mid game. He has not had many successful ganks off at all. The one that he has had, the Flash was burned for a kill in the bottom lane, and they're the only lane doing well right now. The rest of them, just from Raw being in a 1v1 position where MLXG has not been able to impact it, they find themselves behind.
With that, you can see that Xiaogu are feeling pretty confident about this. They've got a lot of damage on TNT, they've got some damage on Swift, and even Doinby going for that Morel and Omicron. The thing that I'm a little concerned of is Xiaogu seems like they might taper off in a hyper late game. Sivir's not the strongest of hyper carries.
they do taper off a little bit. The Sivir doesn't put out the damage that a Varus can per se, but Varus not necessarily known for his hyper-scaling late-game auto-attack damage. Is more of a spell-based caster, so Sivir actually going to be able to match that of a Varus quite well, if not out-damage the Varus, depending on how the fight begins. You look at the side of Xiaogu and you think that they want to straight away fight. They want to use the On the Hunt, they want to use the Righteous Glory on a Maokai. They just want to press the go button and do not look back. That plays to their strengths as a team and arguably outfights that of the RNG side, who have got the Varus looking to put down some poke prior to a fight beginning. If they can utilize the chains and disengage the fight though, that's when you'll see RNG come out stronger.
Definitely have to see if that works out, because RNG have got a lot of damage on their side of the lineup. There's the recall out of Wushin and TNT. That's a BF sword for Wushin as he starts to hit some of those stronger spikes, but TNT on the other hand, after his first recall, got a second Doran's. After his second, going for an Avarice Blade. Seems like TNT is content to just wait out this laning phase once again. And RNG, they took advantage of it in game number 1. Right now they've got a 700, 800 gold lead over Xiaogu. They might be trying to do the exact same thing in game number 2.
Yeah, not much of that gold really going to come to any fruition just yet in the game. Of course, not a sizable amount. You're up against a team still looking to scale up in item. Varus looking to go towards that Infinity Edge from the looks of it. Anyway, a very aggressive on-hit, well not on-hit, but auto-attack oriented Varus build so far. We'll see what that actually becomes, of course. I may be wrong. And then you have a look at the Avarice Blade from TNT, and you're right, he does just want more money. Yeah. Very, very greedy decision-making in terms of items, but Sivir can afford to do so. Quite safe, has a lot of wave clear irrespective of item buys, which is a big deal of being able to match that of a Varus, especially with the Eye of the Storm from Garena.
Definitely. There's going to be the knockout. Spell Shield used at an untimely time. TNT takes so much damage, but here comes the counter gank. Stun is going to find Wushin as he flashed aggressively, and he gets bursted down by TNT. V with the aggressive flash forward finds Lamy. He's going to end up going down. It's a quick 2 kills for Xiaogu.
And they pick up a very easy kill there. The engage from RNG actually really good. They bait the spell shield from the hail of arrows. They find the easy chain of corruption comboed with the Alistar headbutt pole, but so many members of Xiaogu just sitting there waiting. Apparently just said, you know what, they're going to engage on us, let's just let it happen. Swift comes in, V teleports in before Let Me can also. They end up with a 4v3 situation where Sivir didn't die, very smartly saving the heal for as long as possible. A very nice Monsoon from the Janna to save also, and Woosh does.
Yeah, very excellent trade for Xiaogu. Seems as though they actually knew that they wanted to wait. And with that excellent play, that's going to yield over those 2 kills. Now, RNG, on the other hand, trying to get aggressive with that bottom lane, just weren't quite able to find it. And you talked about this a little bit earlier. MLXG seems like he's the lifeblood of RNG's early game and mid game. He's gotten 1 gank off this game. You saw him looking for a gank on Joinby about a minute ago, but the fact that he's not been able to find anything really speaks to how RNG operate during this early game.
Yeah, he's the core of that early game. If he can find himself with a lead, in the last game he translated that to almost all 3 lanes and gave them the game on a silver platter. This game not able to do as much, not on that Echo, not with the very unique gank pathing either. Just trying to have an impact but cannot do so when all of the lanes seemingly are losing.
Seems like, and speaking of losing lane, it's a 30 CS lead for V in the top, and he's involved in 100% of his team's kills. Poor Let Me is having a terrible time up there, even with the full Merc Tread home guard. I mean, this guy's getting bullied left, right, and center. Yeah,
he is having a very hard time, and so is TNT. No, he's not.
Ooh, there goes the spell shield. Another chain of corruption comes out from Wushin, but TNT knows his numbers well enough to back away.
Yeah, they don't actually go down there, but the aggression, the advantage, starting to push into the Varus, they're finding every opportunity to engage. And if Xiaogu aren't there to save him every time, there is a chance that fights will start to head in favor of RNG, with the Dragons poking their head up almost on cue 2 minutes from now. If they can continue this, all the ultimates will be available in the bottom. Find an advantageous trade.
Or Hunt is used. They could look for Wushin. Once again, he's got his heal, but TNT does so much now that he's picked up a BF sword. Swift flashes aggressively forward, drops the parallel convergence. Is he going to continue looking for the dive? Stun doesn't quite find Lamy, but he's taking a lot of damage from Swift. Still going to be able to get out.
Yeah, even with that ultimate on, he still takes an abundance of damage. Swift getting a nice gank, but a very, very good disengage from Lei. Denies any chance of a kill there onto Woosh. They get out with their lives, but the pressure is being put down by Swift now. He's starting to hit his stride, and That's a ward that's spotting you, Swift. You can't stand still.
Seems like he was trying to be a little interesting there, but just wasn't able to quite find it. But once again, Xiaogu made the exact same play in the bottom. TNT took some damage, took some harass from Lamy and Wu Xin, but then they turned it around on its head and tried to get another kill, but this time RNG were prepared. So great adaptation from RNG to not let that happen once again. And now with Dragon up in 50 seconds, seems like we might be seeing that objective be contested, as the first one was taken by RNG.
Yeah, both top laners not actually having teleports available either for this Dragon. They opt to do it the second it spawns, and arguably an advantage in favor of RNG, perhaps.
Shockwave onto Doinby. Let's see if he gets the knockup right here. Does have the wild growth. Doesn't even get a chance to use it as Swift comes in to try saving him. But that's a free kill for RNG.
Yeah, didn't actually get a chance to use the ultimate. A very questionable fight right there from Xiaogu, and very awkward position to find themselves in with the Dragon up so soon.
I'm kind of curious. The game paused immediately afterwards, so it seems like maybe his key wasn't working, or maybe there was a lag spike or something, but he had the wild growth and two people within range for the knockup, plus Swift coming from behind, so I think he might have been prepared for it.
Yeah.
But just wasn't quite able to get it. So that's going to be a kill going over to RNG, and they're evening it up now to 2-2 and kills him. As you mentioned, Dragon's up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, they've evened the kills out. The goal going onto the right targets here. Xiaohu starting to ramp up quite strong. That Orianna getting close to the big item spikes, any kill or assist is going to only aid that and speed that process up. The sooner that Orianna does ramp up, we'll start to outscale the damage output of the Lulu. That's when the teamfight of RNG does look a little bit scarier.
We'll definitely see if they can make it to that point, because you also have to consider the top lane. V, he seems to be doing a pretty great job this game. Definitely shutting down Let Me in the top.
Yeah, he's been doing a very good job of laning, as apparently, speaking of play.
Yeah, action in the bottom. Both the junglers show mid, so instantly the dual lane at the bottom goes ham. And they pick up a kill. And yes, that is an Alistair pun. No, it's not. It's not ham. He's beef. They go beef.
Yeah. No, that was pretty bad, actually. You justified how bad it was upon yourself. You dug your own grave. No, they do find a very easy kill there. Being able to turn it around, they've just got such a big go button here, this Xiaogu side. The Maokai with the Righteous Glory, boots upgraded. You've got the Sivir with the On the Hunt. You've got Lulu who can speed anyone up, and then you've got the zone control of the parallel convergence of Swift here on Echo. So a very good team fighting comp, and maybe even though they lost the Lulu, they find a kill in the bottom lane. No one can just outright go for the Dragon.
Yeah, and with that, everyone spawns. It's now 5 versus 5 once again. As you mentioned, that Dragon has now spawned, but Xiaogu answer that kill in the mid lane for Doinby and trade it right back over by getting a kill onto Lamy. And things slowing down just a little bit. There's a lot of damage already dealt to that bottom tier 1 turret. V managed already to clear that top tier 1. With the wave now shoving in the mid lane, it seems like they might be looking for that bottom one. TNT getting very aggressive here. You talked about that Master Yi style Sivir. He's going into melee range for MLXG, who's forced to flash the wall. Yeah,
no fear whatsoever. He has a Janna and a Lulu waiting in the wings to just support him through these aggressive endeavors. A very comfortable position. As Let Me not in such a comfortable position, in fact, in a horrible one.
He's taken so much damage. V is so oppressive right there, trying to get him to burn the Onslaught of Shadows, but just wasn't quite able to find it. Now both of them, as we mentioned, have got that teleport.
He's actually without a mana in that trade, so there was no way for him to even waste the ultimate, just casually galloping his way past.
Swift looks for Wu Xin. He doesn't quite find the stun, but he finds enough damage to bring him low. It's TCT who gets the kill. Double top laners teleport. TNT is going to be able to make it out of the back of the fight, but do they have enough damage without him there? V trying to chase it away. It's 5 versus 4 right now for Xiaogu. They turn on the Lamy. He's got so many defensive stats.
Shockwave.
Whoa, a huge Shockwave turns it around. The Onslaught of Shadows stacks on top. They still kill Lamy, but they just can't pick up a kill. And QG are going to get onto this turret. The flash re-engage. He continues diving this one down. MLXG goes low. He's going to go down.
And this is the team comp of Xiaogu coming through super strong. Nobody dies, but they get super low. And that is because they've got the Janna, they've got the Spell Shield, they've got the Maokai ultimate, and they've got the Lulu. No one is really planning on dying just yet in this team comp. They're working around their strengths, and the fact that they are all super low, except for the Janna, of course, should not be taking damage, is credit to how they played that last team fight. They find themselves with the Dragon almost completely for free now, And Qiao hit the great ultimate, but it's just not at his 2-item spike yet. Doing damage, but not enough to raw carry yet.
Yeah, you can see he's got the Athene's Unholy Grail finished now. He finally is going to pass the CS of Doinby after having that very rough laning phase, but it might just be too little too late as RNG are down now 4 kills. They're down that first dragon. That's their second dragon. It's going to mean playing to that 5th dragon win condition is a little bit more difficult. And what can they do to get themselves back into this?
It's definitely not too little too late just yet. Keep in mind they scale very well. The Virus actually going for the Infinity Edge is the big question mark that I do have to raise, is that he's going for an on-hit build against people that are not going to take damage from on-hit effects, but there's no way for you to poke them either. They've got the Janna shield, they've got the Lulu shield, and the Sivir spell shield. So a smart adaptation is to go for this on-hit build so that they can't actually use spell shields to stop auto attacks, because that's not how they work. So a nice adaptation working around the strengths of what his team requires. If RNG are looking to get back into this game, they need to wait for Orianna to get that next item, whether it is a Void Star from the looks of it, go towards a Luden's Echo next, just hit that big item spike, work around the Hecarim once he gets that next spike as well. And we have touched on them being a spiky side. They need to use those to find a lead, or it'll continue to grow for Xiaogu.
Yeah, we can't see there's now a nearly 4,000 gold lead for Xiaogu as they continue propelling themselves further and further forward. V has been completely untouched this entire game. He's been on an island with Let Me, and he's now opening that up to a 30 CS lead. And poor Let Me is like, come on, man.
It's actually been reduced a little bit, I believe, to a 30 CS lead. That is how far he has been ahead. And that island well and truly by itself. So V finding himself in an extremely comfortable position where he is at his own will to do as he pleases. And right now it's just be a pest and make Let Me hate him.
Yeah, and Let Me definitely is, as V, he's just doing everything he can, forces Let Me to go to the top and then swings down to the mid, as it looks like this last tier 1 is the next objective. Swift setting up a dive. He doesn't quite find the stun, instead turns onto Xiaohu, who takes quite a bit of damage when the turret falls. Xiaogu walk away with their prize.
The zoning tool for the turret, very easily able to take that one down. The Echo, and everyone basically on this GG side, very good at zoning and controlling certain areas just from the raw spell kits they all possess, irrespective of that gold lead. But now that they are so far ahead, it just becomes all that much easier for them to do so. The items not necessarily matched across the board here. You can see actually opting towards the Luden's Echo with that blasting one now is Xiaohu, so kind of in the middle of 2 items.
Yeah, seems like he's just going to go for some raw ability power to get him through this trough. The minion wave actually makes it up to the turret. They get some great damage onto it as TNT. He takes a few turret hits, but he's got so many shields stacked up that he doesn't really take that much damage, and with excellent wave control, Xiaogu continued to see the shield.
Yeah, it's weird to consider a protect the Sivir comp, isn't it? Because Sivir is usually known for just being left to her own devices, using her ultimate to actually engage with the rest of the tank team, but still going to be able to do that, but still not going to be able to die on top of that now, as the Master Yi Sivir is going to come into effect very soon.
Yeah, Xiaogu are actually being super oppressive right now as they get some great damage onto those tier 2 turrets, and even the Glitter Lance doing some serious work to RNG right now.
Yeah, the Glitter Lance. That's hello.
Wow, Let Me going very aggressive. He actually used his Onslaught of Shadows to try finding Doinby, but he might just trade his life for it. Swift goes so deep, he almost goes down, but Chrono Break gets him out alive. TNT with the flank is the guy who picks up the kill. V diving the turret, he gets locked down. He's taking so much damage and he falls. Xiaohu trades it over, and Doinby gets flung back in, and suddenly it seems like Xiaogu have overcommitted to this.
They did definitely overcommit. They found themselves with a kill, and RNG is still chasing. They want TCT now.
Yeah, they definitely are. MLXG going so aggressive. Can he make it over the wall to find TCT? Not quite. And
we'll find out.
Yeah, Xiaogu going so aggressive right there. I like the play to try staggering it out and pick people off as they run back to their turret, but they just stayed too long.
A teleport came through there from the top laner, the Hecarim. Tried his best to find a kill, but Let Me could not do that because it is a Lulu. And they are in aggressive position from there on out, where they've caught the Hecarim out of position. The rest of Xiaogu rotated for the fight, but then overcommitted to that fight. And then they were just in a very awkward spot where the shockwave only connecting with one person.
Yeah.
But it hit the one person that was required. They died very quickly.
Yeah, Doinby with no mana was not able to shield himself or do anything to try getting out of there. And despite excellent flanking from TNT and TCT, they just weren't quite able to get it. And just before that fight, I actually kind of wanted to talk about the wave control for Xiaohu as they continue chasing to find Swift and TNT. The knockup finds Swift. Oh, he's actually able to make it out of there, and they might just turn it around once again.
Oh my god.
This is
what
like
is happening?
This is like a yo-yo as it goes back and forth. The aggressive flash shield to TCT.
Oh my god.
The spell shield on the melee range arrow. Lamy is going to try getting revenge for his fallen carry, but yeah, this is such a scary place for Lamy to be. A crit comes out. He dodges some damage. Oh, a style play, but it's not enough.
He didn't get there in the end, and they managed to fight 3 kills onto RNG, and we're talking about over-aggression, over-commitment from the Xiaohu side. I take that all back. RNG are the ones being way too aggressive, looking for dives in situations where it's not going to happen, and now they're looking at a Baron.
Yeah, it really is a tricky play, and they get onto the Baron itself now. TNT has not completed his recall yet. He's still on low health and low mana after that fight. You've got Let Me waiting in the wings, as he does have his Onslaught of Shadows. He's going to be ready in just a second here. Can he go for the steal? MLXG coming in. There's the Onslaught of Shadows. They haven't killed the Baron just yet. They're going to get this great silence across. Bail out of the pit. It's at 1,800 health. It's regenerating. They don't commit to it.
Then they're going to fight.
Yeah, MLXG getting very aggressive as he gets back into the front. The Shockwave finds TNT, but he's still alive. V now forces it into a full 5-on-5 fight. He's tanking so much.
He's not moving.
Yeah, they just want to disengage. There's so much CC. He finally falls. Wu Xin gets the kill. And Xiaohu should be able to make it out of this one.
1,800 health was that Baron. They did not commit to it because the Hecarim places a ward at the ideal timing to deny any chance. And now,
oh, they turn it around. MLXG flashes aggressively, but he's not able to find anyone. A huge stun finds Xiaohu, but TNT is nowhere to be seen as he completed his recall. And without their AD carry, they can't commit to it, and minions are actually going to take the first turret for RNG.
Oh my god, the minions actually find their first turret. The AD carry TNT has now finally bought after that big trade where he got 3 kills as well. So a big spike going to come out for him. If he had those items for the Baron, it would have gone down. Unlucky that he didn't get a chance to a full static shield and then some completed, working towards probably a last whisper.
Yeah. Very solid play out of Xiaohu as, again, they maintained that lead, though they did lose that kill onto V. And RNG are so thirsty for these kills. They're so desperate not to fall behind that they're actually making a couple of mistakes that continue to allow them to fall behind.
You think they're in a drought. They're going a little bit mad with thirst at the moment. Not actually finding all of the kills that they want, but they are trying super hard to get them. Do not want the Xiaohu side to get ahead because, again, a tanky / support-oriented team that gets ahead tends to stay ahead. And that is just the raw spell kit that is provided, and then the item advantage to actually bolster that does maintain that lead, and it becomes just that little bit harder for RNG to get their eye in on a victory. So using Xiaohu now, he's working towards his items. The fact that he had so many mid-game items, we'll see what he actually wants when he has enough money. Yeah. Most likely the Luden's Echo. But we will see, and then once they get the completed items, top laner, mid laner, AD carry working on that last whisper, that is big and that is very important. That's when RNG should be able to find kills, not just chase them.
Oh man, MLXG actually managed to steal away his own Direwolf camp as the blue buff is now going to be stolen away. Joinby's the guy who picks it up. Xiaohu, again, 5,000 gold ahead, a pretty moderate amount, but the big thing is that they are hitting those stronger item spikes. He's only down about 20 CS right now, but the only completed item that he's really got going for him is that Cinder Hulk on top of the Devourers, along with a couple other components. So all in all, things looking a little bit slower for RNG, but they are still on pace to keep, on track to keep pace with Xiaohu as long as they can continue matching these items beat for beat as Let Me desperately tries to get them farm.
I can't help but smile every time I see a mid-jazz.
Yeah, I know.
TCT does have one of those for reference. That's a whole lot of stacking that can come from a Janna. I love it on Janna as well. And I mean, the rest of the side, 6-1 and 4 TNT with a Lulu and a Janna and a Maokai Soak. We saw how long he lived even with all 5 members just punching him in the face.
Yeah.
Takes a very long time to go down, and this is the scary part. The fact that of all people in this game to end up with 6 kills, is the one big carry from Xiaogu.
Oh yeah, 6-1 and 4 right now. TNT and TCT have been involved with every single kill of the game, and it's a bit of an interesting change of pace for Xiaogu. We talk a lot about how Swift is often the primary carry from the jungler, and Doinby takes these support-style mid laners, these utility mid laners, to help him out. But Xiaogu placing their faith in TNT, allowing TNT to be the primary carry. It seems to be working.
It does definitely end up that way, of course. Putting all of their eggs into the basket of TNT, not necessarily the plan, but it has worked out as such. And that's the best part about Xiaogu, is how diverse they are with their capacity to carry from any role. If V gets ahead, he can carry. If no one gets ahead, Swift will be the one to actually take the reins and carry himself. So James Bond there in the jungle, not going to be relying on any severe carries from him. They're going to opt into TNT. They're going to let him do work. Swift is going to facilitate that with his tanky items and stats, and just let the support of this Xiaogu side come through strong.
So we're now 28 minutes into the game. Things again have taken a little bit of a turn for the slower as Swift decides to try forcing a fight here. There goes the on the hunt as they try to chase onto Xiaogu, but he gets a great flash over the back part of the wall, and instead they're just going to take down this mid-tier 2 turret. Lemmy might be caught. V going so aggressive here, but look at all the CC. Shockwave flings them back in. It was used very preemptively. Yeah, they are going to be able to get the kill finally, but Xiaogu are just so strong right now.
The Xiaogu is strong, and it takes a very long time to kill V.
Yeah.
But they do kill V, and nobody dies from RNG. So all in all, a very big success here from the RNG roster. They find themselves in a very good position now to place some vision control at the very least, get control of set areas where they can then work around that and find picks.
Oh, looks like TCT is caught out here. That Mage Eyes might be the doom of him as he goes super low. Glitter Lance is tossed. Let me take some of that Glitter Lance so we can't quite dash in. Onslaught of Shadows is available. But remember, this mid-tier 1 turret is still standing. It might not do a lot of damage, but it does something, and RNG don't want to test it.
I actually love the pick of Lulu into Hecarim also. Just completely denies any of that move speed that you can get with the home guard ganks. They're placed at the right times, and very smartly done there from Doinby to stop the teleport impact, completely negate that, and they get out with their lives.
Yeah, they definitely do. Now Dragon's up in a minute and a half. And now things have slowed down. Last time I said they were slowing down, the fight broke out.
Yeah, you ate your words. And this time it is genuinely slow. In saying that, the lead has not changed at all. Still 5,000 in favor of Xiaogu. So still in the driver's seat in a commanding, not commanding, but more so comfortable position at the moment. As for the most part, every fight that we have seen is basically just V dying.
Yeah. He's so tanky, though. Lamey punishes TCT for dropping the ward, but lets him get right on out. And he's going to clear this ward out himself, Doinby becoming for some moral support as he drops the shield and some more movement speed. And let's kind of recap how we got here. Xiaogu seemed to have a very dominant laning phase, and we talked a little bit in the early game about how MLXG needs to snowball RNG during the early game to make them really feel comfortable, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. RNG don't seem that comfortable without an early lead.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that MLXG did not find the ganks is how we found ourselves in this position. Swift, whenever he does gank, generally speaking, it is a successful one. So the biding their time, the lane is coming out ahead, and being able to utilize 2 ganks in the bot lane to force summoners or force kills has put Xiaogu in the commanding position that they are in now. MLXG trying to find ganks, trying to put himself in a better position, but not able to find any except for that one in the bot lane as Swift
looks for MLXG, but isn't quite able to find him. They were trying to set up a pick. All of Xiaogu were prepared except for V as he was in the top lane. But now Dragon has spawned. They're going to steal away this blue buff and then possibly look to trade over that mid-tier 1 for a Dragon.
Well, they want V.
Oh, they certainly do. He's rushing as fast as he can.
Oh my god.
Did he actually flash right there? I think he
flashed
did.
Over to the bush, and they thought he went to the blue buff. So he's actually in mid lane and just juked you all. And with Dragon up, and with control of the map of the mid area in favor of Xiaogu, RNG are now the ones in a positioning back foot.
Yeah, they are. They're going to have to fall back from here as they are forcing a recall. Xiaogu with that mid-tier 2 down. Ping's going down onto the inhibitor turret. They can try bursting it through. Look at that wave clear from TNT as he chunks through the turret.
Man.
Half health. Lemme tries to knock them away. Are they going to try to go for it? They just might. TNT gets back onto it. The turret falls. Are they going to dive here as MLXG finds Swift on the backside? A lot of the ultimates are still available, and a huge slow Glitter Lance forces the disengage.
They get the free turret all in all. They might want to re-engage here, though.
Swift dashes in. He finds the stun onto Qiao, who MLXG stalls it out as TNT shreds through MLXG in the back. He goes down. Lamy tries to get the knockup. There's the onslaught of shadows, but he's turned around. Flash from TCT knocks Hacker him into the fight. Lamy tries to disengage, but he's taken so much damage. A double kill for TNT as they pick up now 3 kills. They're on the inhibitor now. They could look to end off of this, but no, they're just going to play it nice and safe. The inhibitor did end up going down, and Xiaogu played that so excellent.
After all of that, the Shockwave's still available, so no chance for them to directly end, of course, but the reason the Shockwave is available, TCT, Flash Monsoon knocking them all away from any chance of engaging, and then you've got Swift in the front lines zoning them, forcing the cleanse out of the Orianna to make her walk back, or she will take damage threat. And while that's happening, they take down the front line of RNG. They get the kills, they translate those kills into the inhibitor, and now they're in a very good position. The lead has grown even more so than what it was before.
Yeah, definitely. It's now up to about 7,000 gold for Xiaogu as they secure for themselves that second dragon. With that mid inhibitor down, RNG are definitely going to find themselves feeling a little bit off for this one. Wuxin going for that on-hit Varus build. Wasn't too much success during that last team fight. You can see he's not looking for poke with Varus, which is what we typically expect out of him.
Now, he does have the last Whisper, so he can still poke, but having the Zeal and the Infinity Edges, of course, looking for some actual auto attacks in there, which doesn't cater to Varus's general mid lane Varus strengths. He's being more of an AD carry role, facilitating the fact that he does need to auto attack and put damage down in this game. He's still able to put damage down, but the problem is you compare him to an AD carry such as the Sivir, who has the spell shield, the utility, the mobility. Varus is just a sitting duck for death.
Yeah, TNT's 8-1-5 right now. Without even blowing on the hunt, he breaks 500 movement speed with some help from Doinby and Janna. And he chunks down this inhibitor turret to half health while super minions split.
Speaking of chunks, Whoosh does not have health from that's just Doinby's Glitter Lance.
Doinby does some serious work. Grab it on Void Staff, Morel, and Amakan. Yeah, pretty scary. Oh, there goes the parallel convergence. Swift might look for a fight, finds the slow, but isn't quite able to find the stun. But just the zone control is going to allow QG to take the turret.
Just the zoning tool. Just place down the parallel convergence and say, I dare you to stop this turret from going down, and you can just eat a stun in the face. So smartly backing off here, RNG, giving up the turret because they had no choice. But now Xiaogu, with Baron available and ward control,
set up a death push right there. Nobody's falling for it though. Swift is going to take a shield and then try to turn onto MLXV. Does not find it over the wall. Great play from MLXV to keep himself up, and RNG do not fall for that trick.
Yeah, thankfully spotting them. They've got the Prey Seeker and of course not actually moving, so being able to blind throw it at them, as he's probably going to do the same thing again. The same trick will not work twice against the Rek'Sai Xiaogu. They smartly back away this time. There's a big bottom wave, though, that TNT is going to have to answer. They've got themselves a small window. Oh, no, V will. He's got teleport.
Looks like V is going to be the one who answers that. Blue buff now going to be secured back over to Doinby, and oh, man.
If this was OMG, that would be Uzi right now, not V. He wants all of those red dots.
Every single one. Minion wave is going to get onto the mid-tier 1 turret, and Xiaogu, again, 7,000 gold ahead, 36 minutes into the game, and step by step, they are inching closer and closer towards that blue side victory as they've got some serious damage items. Now TNT is so scary on that Sivir.
Definitely is. 8-1-5 Bloodthirst, the 4 core items finished, even Home Guard boots upgraded and working towards the QSS or a Banshee's Veil at the moment. Unbelievable how big TNT is on this Sivir. They've got the Lulu now, Void Staff, Death Cap, going for the shield size style of AP Lulu build. And then a Janna.
Yeah.
With the Mikhails, with Janna's spells, it's like TNT is never going to look like dying. In saying that, they've been using most of their shields onto V because he is going so far into the front line and so deep that he's actually being at risk of dying. And considering he is a raw tank Maokai with that ultimate, that goes to show how the focus of RNG is forced onto V.
Yeah, and that's just Xiaogu playing to their strengths. I mean, after that laning phase in which V stomped all over Let Me, he's just continuing to try being as much a nuisance. Takes the last tier 2 turret for basically no response from RNG as Let Me, he still can't keep up. Yeah, he's finally caught up in CS, but he wasn't able to keep up in turrets. And with that, the last tier 2 turret goes down. Swift, face checks an Orianna, but decides to turn it around. Dragon's up in 2 minutes, and
Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
the inhibitor's coming back up.
Yeah, apparently so. So it has said, Sata.
So it has been said.
I feel like RNG are in a position where they need the Hecarim to fight, but Xiaogu not necessarily relying on that Maokai can potentially look for a 4v4 or have a split push threat there. It'd be very interesting. Having so many shields is a very strong
Teleport coming in as V looks for Xiaogu. He's got the home guard, doesn't take the dissonance
Oh
flash
my God,
over
he's
the wall.
going.
He's so desperate to make it out of this one, and he does indeed as RNG consolidate effectively and back away.
But that is a flash away from Orianna for the teleport. Maybe not worth because Hecarim still has the teleport available, but Xiaogu going to be able to work around having 5 members here and force Let Me to stay. So the teleport being used for a summoner spell essentially worth in this case. There's no split push options that are going to come out. They're going to look for the inhibitor.
They certainly are. TNT's shredding through that. Look at the damage that he's doing. There goes the parallel convergence. They could look for the dive as Swift gets nice and aggressive. He's taking a lot of CC here and is forced to dash away defensively. TNT single-handedly bullies away RNG.
So manly.
Oh, man. You guys are going to hit my team? Well, how about you have some of this boomerang?
Yeah, it's one for everyone. Apparently, there's a boomerang for every person, all sizes and ages. They're going to be able to control the Baron Pit. Now they've got the pink wards there. They can just clear the vision, force RNG to answer to them. And that is where they will come out ahead with a pick. And that's fighting on their conditions, which is a big win for Xiaogu.
Well, previously, RNG responded appropriately. They slowly approached the pit. They made sure that they had vision. This time, Baron is actually being started. There's the teleport from Let Me, and immediately Xiaogu back away from it. He actually completes the teleport into 4 members. On the Hunt is used as they chase Let Me around the map. TNT is such a man on this Sivir. But here comes the rest of Xiaogu. V jumps over the wall to find MLXG. They're trying to force that fight so hard. TNT does so much laning. Tries to knock him out of the fight, but he just can't find it. Wu Xin gets dove on the back. He goes down. TNT is going to kill Let Me here with that crit. Flashes the wall aggressively, and Xiaohu goes down. Let Me, the sole survivor of this, as he watches Xiaogu steamroll into their base.
The damage that comes out of every member of this Xiaogu side, forcing Whoosh, just a no mobility AD carry up against Swift on that Echo and a Maokai with a Righteous Glory. There is no answer. RNG finding it very difficult from drafting phase, but executed so well from the Xiaogu side. They do find themselves with a one-for-one, and they still maintain that 100% win rate on the blue side.
Yeah, they definitely do. And as you mentioned, splitting the series now with RNG. 1-for-1 between Xiaogu, and my gosh, they did damage. Oh my goodness, TNT. What the heck, man. I think earlier on he was hovering Vayne. I think he was in the Vayne mentality, but on a Sivir.
Just the same range, essentially. You can just play like you're a Marcia, as we mentioned a couple of times. He was just being super aggressive, but he had the team to work around that. The Janna, the Lulu, the front line of the Echo, the front line of the Maokai. This side